Well, everybody, it is Monday. Thanks for joining us here on The Jam. I'm Amy Rutledge, sitting alongside Mr. John Hanson and Mr. Brandon Pope, in for Felicia Lawrence this evening. Great day today, gorgeous weekend.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I hope everyone had a chance to go outside just for a little bit, enjoy it, and it was perfect for the Easter weekend.
Yeah, it felt good to finally get some sunshine on my face. It was a refreshing thing for sure. So now we're recharged and ready for the week.
Ready for the week. We got a lot to get to today. We are going to start with Mayor Lori Lightfoot wants to see the Chicago Police Department change its foot chase policy, although the how and when are still lingering. Mayor and CPD Superintendent David Brown provided few updates during a joint presser on the investigation into the shooting death of 13-year-old Adam Toledo. The mayor, saying what CPD would not, vowed to hold the adults accountable for the circumstances surrounding Adam's death.
Let's be clear. An adult put a gun in a child's hand, a young, impressionable child, and one who should not have been provided with lethal force, a weapon that could and did irreparably change the course of his life. This happens way too often in our city, and it's way past time for us to say no more.
Lightfoot says she has not seen the police body cam video yet. She is waiting until the family sees it first, which could be later this week. We also didn't get any details from the superintendent, any more details on the investigation about who was holding a gun, what the police thought, how the actual incident played out. Of course, it's still under investigation, so that will come out later.
Yeah, there's just so much of the story that we just don't know. And this press conference didn't exactly help with that. You have the mayor here who says she hasn't seen the video, yet she's saying adamantly that this kid had a gun. Then you have the police superintendent who they're pressing to clarify whether there's been a gun or not, whether he saw a gun. He's seen the video, and he won't answer, he won't respond during a whole press conference that's designed to help, calm down any tension and things like that. It just kind of created more questions there. So I think that is concerning going in. We're not seeing much transparency here.
To me, it looked like a press conference where they said, okay, look, we've been dinged for not having transparency in the past, especially when it comes to police videos. It hurts us politically. It's bad for the community. So let's have this press conference. But here's the 5 things we're not going to talk about. And of course, it's the 5 things that everyone wants to ask. Right. So I applaud them for coming to the table to try and offer a little bit more transparency. I think that helps calm some tensions, and hearing from them saying that the mother is also asking for calm tensions. Okay, good. But then you need to be more upfront saying, look, here's what we're not going to do at this press conference. We're not going to get into these details, and here's why. And I think so at the end of the day, it was just some poor execution.
Yeah, and the mayor really seemed to not outright say gangs are responsible for what happened, but she certainly came close to saying gangs are responsible. But, we don't know that yet. We don't know any details about the gun. We don't know where it came from. It could have been from a family member's house. There's so many questions that are out there that it makes it all look more suspicious because they're not being answered. And I understand there are investigations going on that they aren't allowed to talk about, but, don't hold a press conference then maybe, because it just opens you up for more questions.
And then to throw out a vague, possible rule change to foot chase policy without context around what exactly that would do or how that could have prevented this situation also doesn't exactly help confidence in this department or this administration when it comes to situations like this, because without explaining there, it just seems like you're throwing out something to make it sound like you are working toward reform and progress. And we've already seen a report saying that CPD has missed several deadlines when it comes to their consent decree from the government. So the reform issue is still blaring here. And this situations like this kind of like bring that back to the forefront.
The one clarity that I thought
2 years ago.
Yeah. The one clarity I did think was offered at the press conference was kind of the back and forth with what, the missing persons report, why it took so long to identify. That stuff sort of added up, that they did fingerprinting, that the 21-year-old on the scene gave the wrong identifying name on purpose for the young child. So I guess I could understand that, because that was a lot of people's anger before that. But the rest of the question still very much up in the air. Well, key witnesses today took the stand for day 6 of the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Court wrapped up with a veteran officer who knows Chauvin testifying about the department's use of force training. She made it very clear that officers should be careful when holding handcuffed people to their stomach, and that police officers are very aware that there is a risk of asphyxiation. I felt this was very striking. So before that, strong admonishment also came from the Minneapolis Police Department's acting chief, saying Chauvin absolutely violated the department's policies when he knelt on Mr. Floyd for more than 9 minutes. Look, it wasn't an unusual display of public admonishment from top brass. Another key witness today, the doctor who worked for 30 minutes to save George Floyd's life before declaring him dead.
It's well known that any amount of time that a patient spends in cardiac arrest without immediate CPR markedly decreases the chance of a good outcome. Approximately 10 to 15% decrease in survival for every minute that CPR is not administered.
The doctor went on to say that in Floyd's case, his survival dropped about by half because he was without oxygen for more than 4 minutes. It's fascinating watching the prosecution kind of line up their case. We saw the broad strokes, we saw the community effect in the early days, and now they're kind of attacking the defense's game before they can do it, that that's what he was trained to do, that that wasn't a concern, those sorts of things. I mean, this testimony, especially from the officer that knows him, saying, no, they know that this is a risk of asphyxiation, was huge.
Yeah, the defense then also tried to paint the picture that his knee wasn't on his neck the entire time, that it was largely on his shoulder blade or his back. And they showed the last couple of seconds of video before the officer got up, but didn't show much more than that as part of their defense. So I think you're right, John. I think they are debunking the arguments before they even get them out there for the jurors. So the jurors automatically go in with skepticism on that argument.
Yeah, it's very smart strategy, especially when you have the chief of police to testify. Like, that is really just something that doesn't happen a lot in these cases where the prosecution's key witness is the chief of police. I mean, and that shows a chief of police that wants to see reform and some change within his department. So I think that needs to be saluted there. I thought it was interesting when they pressed him and talked to him, he even said that the police response in general was unwarranted for what the situation was. A counterfeit $20 bill at a gas station didn't warrant that many police officers responding to that situation. So they really did a good job picking apart the entire situation from the moment things began all the way till the end. And to have this chief of police just flat out say, doesn't line up with our ethics, our values, or our training, that right there, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I think it really does a good job, at least from this prosecution standpoint, just breaking it down in terms of the idea of, that this wasn't a spur of the moment thing. This wasn't something that happened within a 5-second window, which still can obviously have devastating consequences. But at least a juror, us, we can wrap our head around momentary things. This is trying to show that years and years of training have been built into these officers so that when they arrive on the scene for something that is not super chaotic. I mean, I understand a crowd is around, but the moment is not that quickly moving, that an officer not only is not trained to do what he did, but knows that bad execution of that sort of thing has a terrible effect. Like, you can't make the argument, well, maybe I had my knee in the wrong place, but I didn't know that could strangle a person. Well, you got someone saying that they're told exactly that.
Right. And you talk about the crowd that was around him, that got brought up in the courtroom today as well, asking the police chief if the unruly crowd that was forming around them could also have heightened the officer's awareness or alert level. And maybe that's why the use of force. And he kind of said, to a small degree, but not for 9 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I think it was also interesting when they brought in the paramedic who was responding to the scene there. And he mentioned that there were no signs of a drug-related heart attack that were present with the situation, something that the defense was trying to sprinkle in about how, he may have been on something and things like that. They're saying right here, no sign of a drug-related heart attack. When they saw the body and, responded to it, there was no heart activity, and they worked on him for 30 minutes before they declared him dead. determine the cause of death was asphyxia. I hope I'm saying that. I think it's asphyxia.
Yes,
But
correct.
basically not having air go to the lungs.
Right.
So that right there is important testimony as well. Once again, that prosecution playing the counteroffensive, putting that out there right away because they already know the defense is going to try to point to the drug use as, oh, maybe that could have caused it. Maybe it was a seizure, things like that.
Yeah, I just hope that this brass being comfortable and other police officers being comfortable testifying against one of their own when it calls for it.
Yeah.
I hope that permeates throughout our entire policing system across the country. We see this not only in areas of policing and medical stuff, but everywhere. When you are more honest with your coworkers in any field, you improve as a field. And when it's a state-sponsored thing that's supposed to take care of everyone and develop relationships with communities, I think a little bit more of that honesty, upfrontness when you see something, even if it's amongst your partners on this, whatever the case may be, can only be a good thing. I just hope that has broken a little bit.
Well, you may remember early on in this case afterwards, he admonished Chauvin well before any criminal investigation. Yeah, and took some heat for it because people thought that it was his fault that so many protests stirred up because he didn't support his officer and he spoke out really quickly. So, but maybe he was just doing the right thing. And maybe this is something the world need to be talking about anyway.
Yeah, the leaders of these departments have to speak up because, lots of officers you talk to, even in CPD, they know there's a problem. They want to do something about it, but there's this wall of silence and this fear of retaliation that keeps them from really speaking out too much on that. If you have the top leadership doing that, they don't really have anyone to truly answer to but the city itself. So they're a little bit more empowered to be able to speak out. And when they do so, we can see the power of it right here through this trial. We need more of that for sure. I really want to see that go throughout the country because these department heads, their words really do matter.
For sure.
All right, we'll be continue to cover the case, obviously, as it plays out. Right now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have more coming up after this.
Everyone else is afraid to go up to the 80 degrees on all the other channels. I'm going for it. We're going to get 2 days of 80 in a row here. I'm saying we're going to do it. Maybe a little rain here Wednesday and Thursday. Not bad.
News you need to know: Arkansas Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson has vetoed a controversial trans bill. It would have banned gender-confirming hormone treatment for kids. He called the bill well-intended but overboard. The GOP-led state legislature could still override that veto. Vladimir Putin passed a law that could keep him in office until the year 2036. He's been in power for over 2 decades. That's longer than any other Kremlin leader. And United Airlines has joined Delta, Major League Baseball, and Coca-Cola in condemning Georgia's voting law. In a statement, the Chicago-based airline said it believes leaders in both parties should make voting easier, not harder. Amy.
Hey, there's a massive influx of yard signs out in the burbs, and that is because tomorrow is Election Day. Mayors, school board, village board trustees, among others, will be voted on in suburban Cook County and the Collar counties. Many of the yard signs have some really interesting slogans behind them. People before politics, Unity Party for Progress, Party of the Past, Present, and Future. Candidates who formed a municipal party of their own to gain advantage on ballot placement and signature requirements. They're very wordy signs we have out here in the suburbs.
Yes. It's such a weird story that how many different parties people use and the reasons why they use them. It's kind of complicated, but if you run on a party in the suburbs, or for any political party, a lot of people change it the next time they run so that they don't get primaried. So if you win an election on a party, then there could technically be a primary challenger. So they just change their party. So on that list, I don't know if we can go back to it. The last 4 on that list were used by one mayor over the span of a couple years. One mayor used the parties Bolingbrook First, Bolingbrook First Party for Bolingbrook, and Bolingbrook United. Same guy, 4 different parties, just so he never had to get primaried. It's a crazy quirk.
But they changed that, didn't they, in 2017? Or is that how it stands still?
It still stands. There's a little bit more rules on what you are or not able to do. In fact, there's some places, some municipalities where they just alternate between the two parties every 2 years. So they run on this slate once and then they run on another one and they just go back and forth and back and forth. It's a real weird thing.
Yeah.
It's the choice of names for me. Some of them sound like some motivational quotes you get on like your tea bag when you're making your tea, and it's like supposed to inspire you. We are the heart of past, present, and future. Fortune cookie type of statement. So I find that interesting. I just wish that these parties were actual parties because they sound like they could be kind of fun. Like, roll up to the Bolingbrook First Party. Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, I heard the Bolingbrook Second Party isn't cracking at all. Y'all did this. Bolingbrook United, lame. They tapped out on their keg.
Yes,
Common sense party.
Another popular slogan that we all now dislike: "Make America Great Again."
Yeah.
Well, what if you see that on the yard sign?
Yeah.
No, I know. But I'm saying that could.
Yeah, exactly. What would your party name be, Brandon? When you're running for office, you're running on which party?
Ooh. I would call my party the Party of Swag and Swag First. The Swag and Swag First Party. Swag before anything. That's the platform. That's the mission.
Yeah.
I don't know if that elicits a lot of trust in you as a leader.
Yes. Yeah. I would run on the I promise I won't be very corrupt party. Like the less corrupt.
Very.
I promise I won't be corrupt. I mean, it's right there in the party name, so you kind of have to stick to it, right? I would think.
Exactly.
Amy, what about you? What's your party?
I would be the vote for me because I told you so.
I like that.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, coming up after the break, how a few diet swaps can help you fight your vaccine side effects.
And a little later, we're getting an update on season 2 of the Saved by the Bell reboot from AC Slater himself. Mario Lopez joins us at 6:30.
Did you fall down or something? Oh.
Welcome back. So according to the CDC, a rural Illinois bar opening led to 46 new COVID-19 infections, a school closure, and the hospitalization of a long-term care resident. Attendees included a person who had no symptoms but had received a COVID-19 diagnosis the day before, as well as 4 people who had symptoms but had not yet been diagnosed with COVID-19. This is why
you know what's crazy?
Avoid those super spreader events.
Well, they say that they think that it ended up being 86% of the people that attended that bar party ended up as symptomatic carriers. They don't know the net effect of how many people got infected from those people because so many of them would not participate in the contact tracing thing that happened either, even though it was anonymous. And everyone's like, oh, tell us what bar it is. It's like, no, the CDC is trying to do these things just to show you the effects of them. They give the bar the anonymity so as not to out them. And they do that to the people too. But I'm like, they think that hundreds of people could have gotten it through this as it spread about the area.
It's crazy.
It's scary. It's scary. Well, nationally, COVID deaths are dropping. 222 people died on Sunday. That's the lowest number since March 23rd, 2020. The data suggests vaccines are working, but the CDC warns the country is entering its 4th week of increased trends and cases. So it's important that we stay vigilant and remember this is still ravaging people for sure. And before you get your COVID vaccine shot, doctors recommend avoiding alcohol 12 hours before, staying hydrated, and eating something easy to digest like yogurt or eggs. And if you want to counteract some of the potential side effects, try drinking some ginger tea and eating a Mediterranean diet beforehand. Ginger tea is supposed to be helping with nausea. A lot of women use it to deal with morning sickness and things like that. So ginger could be a big help. I got my vaccine appointment on Wednesday, so I'm going to take.
Brandon, tell Amy some more about the problems with morning sickness, please.
Well, Amy, from what I hear, as the expert on pregnancy and mothers,
I'm like, I never drank ginger tea.
Right?
Doesn't it just sound like when you get a cold or something, this is what you do? I mean, why is everyone so freaking out about these symptoms? Number one, it means it's working. People are freaking out so much about them that now that when people don't get symptoms, they're freaking out that they're not getting symptoms. Everyone chill, let the shot go in your arm. It's going to be fine.
You know what this is highlighted?
I'm a little scared.
What this is highlighted is there's also a bunch of wusses in our society because I think people's pain thresholds and tolerance levels are very different, right? Like, sure, my arm hurt and I was, a little muscle soreness. And granted, I'm not saying people didn't have side effects. I understand people did. But I also think that some people are a little bit,
You just call people a bunch of wusses.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, my mom had some pretty bad side effects from her COVID vaccine.
My dad did too.
So I'm a little concerned for Wednesday. We're going to see how this works out. But
you'll be fine,
good to get the shot. Good to get the shot.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back after this, everyone. There was some special thing that if you. Yeah, okay, cool. I got it now. Yeah, I figured as much. I just making sure. Thanks for writing it. All right, it has been over a year since we regularly gave up the handshakes and the hugs of other people. Health experts are kind of conflicted on whether we should bring those back when we're all back to normal. Some say that physical contact is good, right? Like it's good for your mental health. You feel good after a nice hug. Others say, obviously, if you stop doing the contact, you're going to be in way better shape. Amy Rutledge, are you going back to handshakes and hugs or what?
Oh, you two get ready. If you let me, I'm giving you big squishy hugs.
Bring it on. Bring it on, baby.
Sorry, it's my nature. I can't take it out of my nature.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. It may shock you guys, but I'm a hugger. I'm a guy that enjoys a good hug every now and then. It's good it's not to sound weird, but it's good to feel the presence of somebody against you, I guess you could say. It's a comforting thing. Handshakes, not as much. I do miss dapping up people, though. I got different handshakes for different friends. I forgot all of them because I haven't used them in over a year. So we're going to try to make some new ones whenever we can. Handshakes type of thing. Yeah,
like a fancy something.
Yeah, a dap would be like, a combination of things. Like, I'm going to do something like this and, we do a bunch of different things. Whereas a handshake is more
we're
like...
We're going to come up with one. We're going to come up with one,
okay.
Brandon, me and you.
Do it in the break. Let's find a good one.
No, I didn't mean right now. No, I don't have any time for that. Okay. No, I'm sorry.
I'm like, I got work to do here, guys. So
we'll figure one out for
Coming up after the break, Mario Lopez tells us about his 5 passions in life and how you can enjoy one of them tonight.
All right, everybody. A very happy Monday to you. Hope you enjoyed the warm weather from the weekend and into this week. Hope you all just enjoyed a nice Sunday. I have a lot of hopes for everyone out there. I just hope that it was magical. Yeah, it was great. I was moving across, a neighborhood. It wasn't that dramatic, but woe was me. I didn't get to enjoy the nice weather that everyone else did. Can I just throw a pity party for the next 30 minutes?
I was going to say, just think of it this way. You weren't moving boxes in the rain or the cold, so you technically were enjoying.
Yeah.
That would have been more
perfect moving weather. Perfect moving weather.
Yeah. Really good. All right, we got more important things to get to than talking about me moving. Chicago in 60. Let's roll through this. Mercy Hospital is going to have a new owner, but most importantly, it will stay open. A state review board approved the $1 sale, bought a hospital for $1, from Trinity Health to a Michigan nonprofit group. But in all seriousness, this is huge for the community. I know a lot of folks were really worried about this hospital shutting down. I'm glad that a nonprofit is taking it over, and they are binding. They have to keep up the same level of care that they've been doing for the past in order to keep this deal going.
Yeah, good news.
Only $1 I could have bought in.
Yeah, Brandon, that fits your bill. That's in your budget, not by a lot.
I think it fits the budget. Yeah, got $3 I can play around with.
I don't know if you would have given the same level of care. I'll tell you, the last place I'm going if I have any medical issue is Brandon's hospital. I think there's one medicine he doles out, and that's the only prescription. Okay.
Oh man. Dr. Love,
Cook County,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Serious face, John. Here we go. A Cook County public health doctor says that rising COVID numbers could lead to a return of the indoor dining ban, especially in the suburbs. And if that happens, it would be the third such time, as we kind of yo-yo back and forth, that the restaurants have had to shut down indoor dining since the start of the pandemic. Not a sure thing, just like a warning that, hey, this could happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. We went out to eat on Saturday, and the patio was full. I mean, as full as it could be for the seating requirements. And then there was nobody inside, which I was shocked by.
Yeah.
It's probably smart to do it now while weather is getting better. That definitely helps.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I saw a video of outside of Wrigleyville the other night of someone puking on themselves and a fight happening outside of a bar. It looked like straight out of Vegas 2017. I was like, boy, that weather turned and people.
Yeah, God.
Nature is healing.
Sounds like Wrigleyville to me.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we're back to normal in Wrigleyville apparently. Yeah. Okay, guys, it is National Deep Dish Pizza Day. Can I get an amen?
Yeah, amen. Woo! Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
And they actually have this new cool thing, self-guided tours from, quote, finger-licking food tours. And that starts today. It's actually kind of cool. You pay ahead of time, $65, and you get a 2-hour tour, and you get to stop at 3 restaurants, try a little pizza. And so you get to cut ahead in the line, right? Some of these places are popular, and they may have a long line. So you get the front of the line. It's also National Caramel Popcorn Day. Is it caramel or caramel? I don't know what to say.
I say caramel.
Caramel.
Okay.
Yes,
we'll do
I don't want to be fancy. It's caramel,
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I do. It's National Caramel Popcorn Day. So obviously Garrett's does Garrett's does the cheddar and the caramel, and that's a big mix. So if you had to give up one, who's got to go? Amy, who's going? Deep dish pizza or Garrett's?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant which popcorn flavor.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, Garrett's.
You got to choose one. Garrett's got to go.
Yeah, it's an easy choice for me. Garrett's got to go. I don't like popcorn, so for me, see ya.
Oh,
well, then that was easy. Yeah, for
there
sure.
you go.
Yeah. All right.
Give me all the cheese, though.
Okay, there you go. Well, he's got one of the world's most famous set of dimples. Mario Lopez has been all over our TV screens since the 1990s, and now he wants to get into your kitchen. The actor shared the details behind his latest project with Felicia and me earlier.
Well, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be on your show. And yeah, I'm excited about Mario's Tortas Lopez, which is my very own virtual restaurant brand. And the cool thing about it is that it operates out of existing restaurants, which allows these restaurants to add a source of revenue without impacting their operation, which I love, especially during this time. But Mario's Tortas Lopez is a delivery-only virtual brand. There's no physical location. It's available only online through Grubhub. Grubhub's offering free delivery, which is really cool. And the menu was crafted by myself and Chef Eric Greenspan. He's the culinary director of the virtual dining concepts. And I essentially just wanted very authentic, tasty Mexican food that I grew up with. And I wanted the traditional Mexican sandwich, the torta, aka the torta, that to be the staple. And then we build around that with these cauliflower rice bowls and a bunch of options with the tortas. With like I have carnitas, and I have grilled chicken and chorizo and eggs and chile relleno. Also vegan options like vegan chorizo. Then I got nachos and of course the guacamole, the black beans, and the elote, the corn, and the churros. And which are like kind of donuts and these Mexican donuts and dulce de leche. So it's really authentic, it's really delicious. And I'm excited to kind of get it out there because people that know me know I'm a big foodie. And I always say I'm always about the 5 Fs, which is family, faith, fitness, fun, and food.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I literally just got back from Mexico and you are making me drool. I'm so hungry. This is wonderful. So the restaurants sign up with you. You deliver to the restaurants. They prep and send it out as people order through Grubhub. Is that how that works?
That's exactly how it works, which is really cool. And the restaurant gets a percentage, so everybody wins.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You are wearing so many hats. You got the business. We know you're a TV host over at Access Hollywood, and you're currently filming season 2 of Saved by the Bell. How is that working in the midst of all the scheduling stuff?
Aside from Access Hollywood, I also do like All Access and Access Daily. And then I have a nationally syndicated radio show that I do with my wife called On with Mario. And I'm getting ready to do the 2nd season of Saved by the Bell in June. But tomorrow I take off to Santa Fe, New Mexico to do my new Christmas movie called Holiday in Santa Fe. So that'll be a lot of fun. My daughter's going to star in that one with me. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to take care of all the cast and crew with all the Tortas Lopez over there. So I'm looking forward to hooking them up.
That's amazing. I've seen all your great TikToks with your family, and your daughter wants to get into the business, right? That's the one that's doing the movie with you?
You know, it's funny because she's never once asked me to want to do anything. It just sort of kind of happened or by accident. And I like to kind of keep my family close with me. So I try to get them in on the act. And, you know, I feel like sort of like the Latin Partridge Family, modern day now. But she's really talented and really sharp as a whip. She's only 10 years old, but she sings, dances, plays the piano, competes gymnastics and all kinds of bunch of other stuff. And so it's a lot of fun.
How do you feel about her acting in the business?
You know, I wasn't going to necessarily encourage it, but I wasn't going to discourage it either. And if she wants to do it, then especially with Dad, then that's cool. But she's because my wife, we met doing Broadway, and she's very talented singer, dancer, actress too. So I'm sure just genetically it's kind of in there somewhere. And she's a little ham, so she likes to perform. But my son too, by the way, we just did like the new Oscar reviews for all the Oscar nominated animated films. And it was really cool. We got a good response. I've done a lot of red carpet stuff, interviewing everybody from like The Rock to Justin Timberlake. So they've got quite a little resume for little kids. And
of course, we can also sample the food as well. And that is available right now?
Available right now, Grubhub, Mario's Tortas Lopez. So these sandwiches, they look like this. Look, this is my grill.
I just want you to pass that through
my
right now.
Carnitas one right there. I got these bowls too, right? I got these good healthy bowls. So they're delicious. Quick, very convenient.
You're speaking my language. It's my favorite cuisine, and it's quick. That's how I work. Mario, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thank you,
Mario.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you can keep up with all of Mario's projects on social media, and for more information on his virtual restaurant, go to mariostortaslopez.com or on Grubhub.
All I really need is a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit.
You know what time it is. B Pope's Lil Update. So, in Lil Nas X's newest video, he gives a lap dance to the devil. Completely normal, right? Well, this weekend, the cast of Saturday Night Live shared their solution on how the rapper could even things up. Check it out.
To help bring people together, would you be willing to give a lap dance to God? Just to even things out?
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Okay, let's do it. Wow! Happy Easter, everyone!
A lot of people got a kick out of that, including Lil Nas X himself. He said, SNL going to hell with the money shot of Chris Red's Lil Nas X getting it on what looks to be God or Jesus Christ. That I enjoy good comedy, good satire, and that right there, that was a good skit.
That was funny. I think it was really funny.
Yeah, I just he is running a master course on getting promotion out of something, and every time he is calling on the woke police or people that are upset by this, just more and more people checking out the video. It's awesome. I think it's so cool. I think it's a little graphic, but whatever. It sells.
Thought-provoking, if you will.
Thought-provoking, yes. I'm deep in
Provokes
thought
a lot
after
of
watching
thought.
someone grind on the devil. I'm thinking of all the themes, and really what he's talking about there is the eloquence of the devil inside of us and what happens in a ritualistic dance. I'll shut up. Okay, we got to go. After the break, after the break, a couple of performers are trying to get canceled after performing a song that another performer got canceled for. Sort of. I said that all wrong, but that's 2021. We'll break it down for you after the break.
You got it.
All right, time for some Hollywood headlines. Rapper DMX's family holding a prayer vigil tonight at the New York hospital where he clings to life. DMX remains on life support following a heart attack he suffered, according to TMZ, during an overdose on Friday night. A new study from Variety shows... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he's the only rapper to ever have, I think, 5 #1 albums,
really?
which is pretty amazing. So, yeah, he's a very accomplished guy. Really wishing him the best.
Yeah, it's too bad. A new study from Variety shows that most people haven't even heard of the Best Picture nominees, despite the fact that they're very streamable, very accessible right now. Not a single nominee was recognized by half of the people surveyed. So Judas and the Black Messiah was most recognizable at like 46% of people had heard of it. And the movie Mank, only 18% of people had heard of it. And I got to say, when I saw the nominees listed, I felt the same way.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, you would think that with Mank on Netflix, it'd be more accessible, but it's not interesting. So,
for sure.
Well, there's so much out there.
Yeah,
too. I know. And I don't think that anyone cares as much about the Academy Awards in general. So I don't think people are focusing on it like they were, and they're not going to movies as much, although there was a big box office this past weekend. Anyways, last night's Versus battle lit up Twitter. It was Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers. Some people upset, though, that the Isley Brothers performed songs produced by R. Kelly. The duo sang Contagious and Busted, which, I don't know, I get that I get that it doesn't seem right, but I mean, it's a performance. It's different. I'm always able to kind of separate the artist from the crime. I don't know, Brandon. You seem to think they shouldn't have done it.
I think they should have. It's their songs, and they're famous, So
yeah,
I mean, you can't. I don't know. You can't just cancel every single thing.
Right.
These guys are legends.
Yeah, I'm kind of with both you guys now, and I'm like, kind of would expect them to do those that they're known for, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, riveting conversation we just had. We all agreed with each other. Oh, that's interesting.
How about that? Let's see if we agree on this one. So Daniel Kaluuya, he hosted SNL on Saturday. Great episode. And he did a game show skit that's got some people upset. Kaluuya played a black doctor trying to convince his black relative to take the vaccine. Take a look.
All of you are considered high risk for COVID.
Yeah,
true.
Whatever that means.
Mm-hmm. But despite all of my pleas, none of you have been vaccinated yet.
Hell no. Hit me with that.
Okay.
Do it got syphilis in it?
What? Of course not. Why would it have syphilis in it? Tasha.
Tuskegee.
Okay, but that was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, I ain't forget. You know I can't take that vaccine. I am a Christian.
Who told you Christians can't take the vaccine?
Facebook.
I thought it was funny. I got a good laugh out of it. So, I don't speak for all black people, but this black person.
Wait, what? Hold on. What? You don't?
I don't.
This time. Oh, man, I got to change a lot about what I've been thinking.
Yeah, man. Watch what questions you ask me, because it ain't for everybody.
Well, you're the perfect person to ask, because I thought parts of it were funny too. But I'm going to defer to you, Brandon. Were you worried that it's going to, stereotype black people and medicine?
So I understand why people might be a little upset. It's one of those things like, when you have, an inside joke, something embarrassing that happened to you within your family, brothers, sisters, you don't want that publicly broadcasted. If it does, it's not funny anymore, right? But within the group, it's fun. So I think this is one of those like inside jokes that people aren't happy to see put outside to people that are not part of the community, right? Like we joke about this, we don't like other people laughing at it, and then in a sense perpetuating stereotypes. So I can see where people are feeling like, ooh, this is kind of cringy because SNL is for the nation.
Should we making fun of that? And but I still say,
but doesn't it expose like some truths that are really happening, like conversations that are actually happening, and that's where comedy comes from. It has to be rooted in a little bit of truth. That's why I hate when people get all offended by a joke that they're like, well, that's stereotypical. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's like the point of a lot of comedy is based on that sort of thing. They're playing on the limited truths, and they're also playing on the fact that it's not true across the board. Of course, they don't think that every black person thinks the way that in that sketch. That's the comedy. That's the funny. I always say, if you chuckled even just a little bit, you have no right to be offended. If you found it to be a little bit funny, you don't have any right to be offended. You got played by the joke. The joke played you. That's the whole point of it. So,
isn't SNL all about stereotypes and
large
over characterizations, right?
Right. Oh, yes, exactly.
It's caricatures,
you know what you're getting
right?
when you watch that show, right? You know what you're getting, and you might get made fun of, and you got to either laugh with them or turn it off.
Exactly.
One of our producers actually brought a really interesting point. She says that it would have been hilarious maybe on In Living Color, but it's weird on SNL because it is a primarily white audience. Yeah. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that way.
That's basically what I was saying. It's we call it a mixed company. Don't tell our business in front of mixed company. And that's kind of how I think some people may have felt about it. Like, hey, that's our thing that we're working on internally. Let's not put that out there and have. If you look at the headlines for this, it does feel kind of cringy. Mostly white publications laughing at this and kind of using this as like black people are anti-vaxxers. When the truth is, when we talk about anti-vaxxers, it's more the QAnon people, and those aren't black folk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anti-vaxxer and concerns over public safety are very different, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. If you have concerns over racism and Tuskegee and things like that, it's a lot more believable and a lot more reasonable than whatever the QAnon people are putting out there.
Yeah.
Right.
I really miss In Living Color. I know I don't seem like the person that
Great
was
show.
obsessed with every
It was
episode,
a
but
great
I
show.
loved In Living Color. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
me too.
we'll be back into the break, and as we head to the break, a look at the 7-day forecast. Not too bad.
All right, some trending news. Florida International University announced its new special teams coordinator on Twitter today. And here you go. Coach Casey Horney. And as you can imagine, people took the news very maturely, as they do on social media. Here you go. Coach Horney, welcome. I believe you will stimulate this program and thrust it into the national spotlight. Or have faith in Casey Horney. You might be surprised at how often he scores.
Yes.
Social media manager pressing send. What I loved even better than these are the serious responses that people were upset that this guy was going by that name, like it wasn't his given name.
Yeah, like he just made this up for fun.
Yeah.
This is what he wants to go by.
Oh,
Listen,
people.
I expect a rise in attendance, a big rise in attendance.
Yes, there you go.
Lots of scoring. Very creative, very flexible. So it should be great. Should be great.
Should be great. All right, we're going to have much more coming up after this. So many.
That's so good. So cool.
I'm sorry.
Am I doing what?
All right, time now for a little deep dish. And tonight we are talking about our parents. Better yet, whether or not we are becoming them.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope.
Koinoa.
No. Joaquin. No.
Yeah, you've seen the commercials mocking Gen Xers and millennials for becoming their parents. Now, fess up. What do you do like your mom or dad? John Hanson.
Oh boy. First of all, can I just say that if I become my parents, it is a blessing. They are amazing human beings. I would take everything. I know that's corny. But I would love it.
And Marsha's watching, so love you, Marsha.
Yes, yes. And my mom, I worry like my mom. I'm a big worrier about little things, about big things, about things no one should worry about. There's a lot of anxiety there. So thanks, Mom, for that. My dad, this is like a real little thing. I was trying to think of things that I do like my dad. I've become that person that answers the phone whenever we talk on the phone anymore by saying this. Yellow. It's not hello. It's yellow. My dad always did that. And I caught myself just a couple weeks ago going, yellow.
What about you, Brandon?
Oh, boy. I remember being a kid and just hating running errands with my mom. I hated when she went to like a store and she spent hours looking at furniture and looking at appliances. As a kid, I didn't like that at all. Now I go to Target and I'm like, yo, okay, they got a special on this KitchenAid right here. Okay.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, I've been looking at the coupon books and everything. So I get it, Mom. I get it.
Yeah.
I finally do. I'll go into Restoration Hardware and just spend hours there now. I understand completely.
All of my dad jokes, my dad has horrible dad jokes, and they stuck. And now I catch myself, like, my husband will come home, and I'll be like, oh, did you get your ears lowered? Your hair looks so nice.
There you go.
There you go.
You should ask your dad. Ask your dad for some Coach Horny jokes.
Not a conversation I want to have with my dad.
We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.